if you want to learn Power BI and you want hands-on, I got the deal for you. May 1st and 2nd, I am going to be conducting an event called Power of the BI Live right in Dallas, Texas. May 1st and 2nd, I'm going to be holding an event called Power of the BI Live. Now, here's the deal. Who is the course for, you ask? Are you looking to pivot into a new career? You've been, doing what you've been doing for the last 5, 6, 7, 10, maybe even 20 years. And you're saying, hey, I want to do something different. And you really don't know what it is. Or you could know what it is. You really could want to pivot into tech. Or you actually could know you want to pivot into Power BI, but you really don't know how to get into it. You don't really know where to really learn how to really build Power BI reports. So that's where I come in. If that's you, I've been in that situation before where I wanted to pivot into something different. Now, to be totally honest, I didn't know if I wanted to pivot into Power BI or not, right? I knew I wanted to pivot into tech. Not that I necessarily know what part of tech I wanted to pivot into, but I'm the cheat sheet. If you're not necessarily sure you want to pivot into something different, but you don't know what it is, or you want to pivot into tech and you're not totally sure how you're going to pivot into tech or what part of tech you want to pivot into, if you want to pivot into Power BI, but you don't necessarily know how to really learn Power BI. For all of those, for all of you, I am your cheat sheet. I'm going to teach you how to pivot. Well, I'm going to give you the tools that you need to pivot. I'm going to give you the tools that you need to pivot into tech. And I'm going to give you the tools that you need to pivot into Power BI. Why? Because that's what I do. I'm a Power BI developer, fabric engineer. I'm not going to get too deep into all of the things that I do when it comes to the Microsoft stack. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to pivot, I am the guy that you want to learn from when it comes to Power BI. So here's the deal. If you're looking to pivot, if you're looking to pivot, if you're looking to do something different, you're looking to diversify your portfolio, or if you're looking for more money. Now, again, you've heard me say before, if you've seen any of my other videos or you've seen some other videos, I don't like to necessarily put money before all other things that is probably necessary or the things that you probably want to accomplish. But when it comes to, if you're saying, hey, I need to give myself a raise, or I like to just see more money, or I like a side income, or not necessarily a hustle, but I like to do something different, this is where it's at. Now you ask me, you say, T, how much money could I pivot into? How much, if I'm already making $70,000 a year, what could my next step look like moving into Power BI? Those that are in my 16-week course, I highly suggest that they take nothing less than $105,000 a year. Okay, I believe that came out to be somewhere like $52 an hour or something like that, 53. Not sure. I think it's like 52. But I recommend staying somewhere between $105,000 to $110,000 a year. If that fits you, if you're saying, hey, I could benefit from a $110,000 job, Power BI is for you, and this course is for you. But you need someone that's going to teach you how to accomplish that, right? Now, so here's the deal. If you're making $70,000 right now, and you can make an additional $30,000 in 16 weeks, because my course is a 16-week course. That's a pretty sizable increase in pay. That's a pretty sizable raise that you're giving to yourself over a 16-week period. But in this particular case, with Power of the BI Live, I'm teaching you my 16-week course. I'm teaching you the framework of my 16-week course in 2 days. What does it look like? May 1st and 2nd, we're going to have 8 weeks on the first. Not 8 weeks, I'm sorry. We're going to have 8 hours on the first and 8 hours on the second. 16 hours. We're going to cover pretty much the course itself, the 16 weeks. We're going to cover an hour per week in 2 days, right? Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, how can I cram that much information into 16 weeks? How could I cram that much information into 16 weeks? And here's the deal. I don't expect for you to learn everything that my students learn in 16 weeks. Okay? It's impossible, right? Well, let me back up. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. but it'll be quite a task in order for you to learn everything that I teach my students in 16 weeks, right? But here's the deal. This is what it really looks like. In my 16-week course, I'm not there, right? It's not hands-on. Now, I do meet with the students. I do meet once a week with my students, in addition to some of the other friends that I have that come in and meet once a week as well. So you get 2 live sessions, one with me and one with my counterparts throughout the week. However, there's something about being right there on site. There's something about that hands-on in-person session that really makes this thing roll. But I'm not gonna take that for granted, and I don't want you to take it for granted. I'm not gonna take it as if because I'm there, you're going to be learning everything that you need to be learning in 16 weeks, that you're gonna learn it in 2 days. So what does it really look like, T? What it looks like is this. Not only will you be getting access to me for hands-on, live and in person for 2 days, with me giving you the tips and tricks that I have when it comes to Power BI over a 2-day period. But in addition to that, what you're going to get with the Power of the BI Live is something that many of my students, many of my 16-week students haven't had, which one is being live. But what you're gonna get is you're gonna get me live in person, and you're gonna get the 16-week course. You're gonna get me live in person, and you're gonna get my 16-week course. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you access to the 16-week course for 16 weeks. Now, my Power of the BI students, my 16-week course students, I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be funny style with you about how I handle my students and my mentees. Basically, what they do is they get access to all of my live events, such as the Power of the BI Live Dallas and the mastermind events. I do 4 mastermind events a year. They get access to those mastermind events in addition to the Power of the BI Live. But for you, you're gonna have access to the course. Now, with the 16-week course guys, they get unlimited access to the course for 36 months. They get unlimited access for 36 months. I'm gonna give you that unlimited access to the course for the 16 weeks. Now, what does that mean? That means we're gonna do 2 days live. We're going 2 days live, right? To where you're gonna meet me in Dallas on May 1st and 2nd. Now, with that, you get access to the 16-week course, which is pretty much approximately about a $4,000 course. I'm not gonna charge you the $4,000 for the course. All you're paying for is the Power of the BI Live event. But you get access to the 16-week course for 16 weeks. In addition to, I am going to give you hands-on of the 16-week course. It's incredible. It's incredible. I'm going to give you hands-on of the 16-week course for 2 days, May 1st and 2nd. And you get to learn some other tips and tricks. And I'm going to go through a few of those tips and tricks. And some of those things, some of the things that we're going to talk about, I'm actually forgetting about. I'm forgetting right now that what all the things I'm going to be doing. I do have some notes here for some of the main things that I wanted to make sure that I get out there for you, so you'll get some idea of what's going to be going on within the event. But just being live and in person, I get to share some things with you that I ordinarily wouldn't be able to share over the World Wide Web. But again, if you're looking to pivot into a new career, if you're looking for more money, if you're looking to even just develop what you already know about Power BI, with that, then I'd be able to help you as well, give you some tips and tricks on the certification program that we have. It's off the chain. It's off the chain. For the cost of the Power BI Live, it's a no-brainer if you're really trying to learn Power BI, if you're really trying to take your skill sets to the next level, if you're really trying to transform your career to the next level. it's a no-brainer. Now, if you're saying, hey, I'm not totally sure about this Power BI thing, and I don't really know if I really want to, come to an event in Dallas or pay money to attend an event in Dallas, hey, I get it. I encourage you not to waste your time. If you're thinking about Power BI, you're not necessarily sure what it is, what it does, what's going on. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it in depth, what Power BI is here in a little bit. But if you need to be sold on participating in the event, I'm going to say that this event is not for you. You need to be, when you come to this event, you need to come laptop ready and ready to grind. If you're not laptop ready to grind, and you got more questions about what Power BI can do for you, that means that you really haven't conducted the proper research you need to conduct in order to determine if this is the right path you want to go down. Look at some more of my videos. I got hundreds of videos that's out here. I looked at my content catalog on YouTube a few days ago, and I was like, man, I've got a lot of work out here. I got over 100 videos on YouTube. So that's crazy. I got over 100 videos on YouTube. But with that said, if you feel that you're ready, but if you feel that you want to, but you feel like you're not ready because you don't feel comfortable going in and interviewing and stuff like that, and you really don't know what your report should look like, hey, this is where you want to be. May 1st and 2nd, you want to be in Dallas, Texas at Power to BI Live. Now, one thing that we're going to do in Power to BI Live is we're going to create a portfolio. You should walk away from Power to BI Live Dallas with at least 2 projects in your portfolio, maybe 3, but at least 2 projects in your portfolio, maybe 3. And you should feel good about when you interview that you can show your work portfolio style, as opposed to just saying, yeah, I can create a table. I know this visualization. I've written DAX before. I'm familiar with calculated columns. When I'm gonna tell you, I do not remember a time where I interviewed for a job and I pulled out my digital portfolio and I didn't get the job. I don't remember it, right? Now, there were times where I didn't take the job, right? Because I had other jobs to take, but for the most part, it's not like just a regular resume. Now, we're gonna work on a resume, and we'll talk about resume here in a little bit. But when it comes to that portfolio, when you can actually show them work that you have done, you need to be comfortable enough that when you show somebody the work that you have done, they're like, oh, we need you, right? Now, it takes some work to get to that point, but you're gonna have at least two projects in your portfolio, probably one strong project, and then one project that you kind of like, if I just build on this one a little bit, I'll be okay. But you could have 2 strong projects in your portfolio, maybe 3, depending on what kind of time you put in, right? If you skip lunch, you may be able to do that 3rd one. So, I just want you to understand that you're not just coming to Power to BI Live and we're going to be talking about, Power BI, you can make more money and you can work remote and you can work hybrid and these are some of the questions they ask. No, you're going to have a portfolio. You may only have 1 project. I hope you have 2, but you may even have 3 in your portfolio, okay? To where you can show your future employers or your future guys you're going to be interviewing with, like, yo, this is my work, right? Because once they see your work, your resume becomes second nature. But we are going to talk resumes. Matter of fact, let's talk about resumes now. When it comes to Power BI and you're looking to have that career transformation, and you're looking to hit that 6-figure income, that 105 to 110 income. Now, let me say something about that. There are jobs out there that could pay you less. They could offer you less. They could offer you $80,000, $85,000, $90,000. There are jobs out there that could offer you more. They can offer $115,000, $120,000, $125,000. I doubt that your resume would be strong enough for it to be in the 130 marks, but it could be. I have seen one or two of my students that did hit that 130 mark on that initial job, and I was like, what? And they was like, yeah, and I was like, go get it then. But I knew that they were ready. The thing about taking jobs more than 110 is it puts you in a position where you could be expected to know some things you really don't know yet. So I advise you to stay within that 105 to 110 mark. That's something we'll talk about within Power of the BI Live. Now, with that said, where was I going with that? Resumes. So, I know some of you guys out there, you have MBAs, you have bachelor's degrees from, certain institutions. That's cool. Your graduate degrees are cool, okay? But let's talk about work experience, because work experience is what gets you the Power BI jobs. The bachelor degree is not going to get you a Power BI job. The graduate degree is not going to get you a Power BI job. And if somebody offers you a Power BI job because you have a bachelor's degree in something, or you have a master's degree in something, I'm going to encourage you to do this. Run as fast as you can, because your degree does not mean that you know how to create a Power BI report, right? Or how to create a good Power BI report. So that's not what it is. Now, your work experience is what it is. The goal that we're going to have during Power of the BI Live in Dallas is to help you to rebuild your resume so that you can see what skills you have that are transferable to Power BI. I have not met anyone yet who has any type of work experience, whether it be working as a clerk, a cashier, an office administrator, a project manager, an accountant, a financial analyst, a business analyst. I have not met anyone that has come through my program that has had work experience on a resume that did not have transferable skills. But you need to understand how those skills transfer. And then once you understand how those skills transfer, then we make that magic on your resume so that your resume reads Power BI skills and not just the skills that you had over the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? I know you feel good about what you've done, what you've accomplished, who you are within your industry, within your sector of work that you have accomplished over a certain period of time. But what I'll tell you is this: when it comes to Power BI, nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. What people within the Power BI world care about is how much Power BI experience have you had and what type of reports can you create, right? And that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to develop within our 2-day session. Now, we also do that within my 16-week session. So I'm not trying to make believe as if this is the only place that this happens. But this is one of the major one of the major conversations that we're going to have within Power of the BI Live is that, these are ways how you would transfer your skills within Power BI or from whatever you already do. So that's what. So again, initially we're going to talk about why do you want to learn Power BI? Is it a pivot? Is it more money? Is it just to get into tech? Well, I'm saying just get in tech, but is it the pivot? Is it more money? Is it to get into tech? Those are the reasons why those are 3 reasons why I believe that people pivot into Power BI or pivot into tech, but specifically into Power BI. There are some other reasons out there. I'm willing to hear those too. But at the end of the day, I think that getting into tech, more money, or doing something different, I think the majority of the other reasons pretty much fall under those areas. I don't know. In addition to, again, with Power to BI Live, you're going to be able to create a report. You're going to create a portfolio. Not be able to. You're going to create a portfolio. You're going to create a portfolio of 1, 2, or 3 projects. Now, you're definitely going to create one strong project. You're going to have 2 projects that you're going to have. One of them is going to be strong, and you may even make it to the 3rd project. The reason why I say you're definitely going to have one strong one and you're going to have one other one is because the first one, you're going to pretty much be getting your feet wet. You're gonna be, I don't really understand. You know, you're gonna kind of whine a little bit. But after that first one, then you're gonna be able to take that. The next project, you're gonna be able to go, oh, I got this. I'm about to work my magic on this. So then you're gonna have that one that just started at first. Then the second one, you're gonna be like, boom. But then that third one, if you're ready and you have enough time, because some people are gonna really want to spend more time on that second project. But if you're ready and you're able to move to that third project, I mean, you know, you got three projects in the portfolio off top. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you're gonna have at least one strong one that you're gonna probably feel like, it's not really. And then once you feel good about that second one, then you're gonna be like, either gonna really knock out that second one and just hammer it down, or you're gonna be like, yo, I wanna build one more before I get out of here. And that's what we're gonna do. That's what I'm gonna help you do, right? Again, I am teaching this course. It's not a course, but this event we're holding, it's gonna be 2 days, right? Typically, my course is 16 weeks, and you would have 16 modules that you would do over 16 weeks. But here we're gonna break this thing down. Not only are we gonna cover the modules, we're gonna cover a lot of information in this 2-day period. So you gotta come brain ready. Now, you say, well, T, how many people are you expecting to be at this event? To be honest, I'm expecting about 5 to 10, right? I'm not expecting a large number. Now, I'll be honest. I mean, the cost of Power of the BI Live is $695, right? Now, I can say only $695 to make it a sales event or a sales tactic, but nah, that's not what I'm talking about. But it is going to only be $695. But here's the deal. Actually, those that sign up during the early bird, it's going to be 50% off for the early bird, right? So what is the early bird? Early bird is from right now until March 15th, right now to March 15th, et tu brute, if that means anything to anybody, right? But after March 15th, it's going to be the full price to $695. Listen, one, it's not a whole lot of money. I know it's not a whole lot of money, because for $695, you could be using this as an investment to, you know, make another $30,000 in income, $50,000 in income. And if you're making $40,000 right now, this $695 could be, you know, another $60,000 in income. So, you know, I know it's not a lot of money. And my 16-week course is right south of $4,000. So I know that it's a good deal. But I'm not going to beat anybody upside the head over it. But yeah, for those of you guys that are asking, you know, how much is this course going? I mean, how much is this event going to be? The event's going to be $695, but it's only $395 actually it's $340 something, $350 something like that, with the 50% off for the early bird sign up. So that's what that is. I'm teaching my 16-week course in 2 days, right? But you get access to the 16-week course for 16 weeks, right? In addition to some other stuff, and we'll talk about some other stuff here in a minute. I've already talked about resume building, so you know we're going to transform your resume to transfer your skills over to what you do best, so that your skills does not necessarily say that you know Power BI, but what it says is the skills you have been transferred to Power BI. Long story short, just work with me, baby. Just work with me. Now, another thing we're going to learn here in this 16 weeks, in addition to the 16-week course that I also teach during this 2-day period, is interview questions. Interview questions are what get people all the time. Sometimes, you know, you can get questions in an interview, and you know, it's not that you can't. You can do the work. You can build the reports. You've got the portfolio. You can do the work. You have built the portfolio, and you have a strong resume. But what's knocking you out the box are the interview questions. So in Power to BI Live, we are going to go through interview questions, and I'm going to send you home with interview questions. But I'm going to teach you how to answer those questions and what those answers are. Now, do I expect you to be the interview the interview champion, for the lack of any better term, within the time period that we're going to be learning these interview questions and how to answer these interview questions and what these interview questions are. No, what I expect for you to do is be able to take these interview questions home, practice what we go over doing inside of the event of Power of the BI Live. Practice those questions, practice those answers, and by the time it's time for you to actually start interviewing, hey, you're in there, baby. You answered those questions. In addition to the resume, in addition to the portfolio, in addition to the interview questions, I am going to teach you, I'm going to show you where the Power BI jobs are. Now, of course, everyone knows that I created an app called a BI Launchpad, and I've got jobs that are on the BI Launchpad. Now, if you're interested in the BI Launchpad, I'm not going to tell you. What I am going to tell you is if you're interested in downloading the BI Launchpad, you can download the BI Launchpad right now. You can download the BI Launchpad, and you are going to be able to see many of the jobs that are available, that are out there for Power BI developers right now. In addition to the jobs that are in BI Launchpad, I'm going to show you other areas to where you are going to be able to find Power BI jobs. Now, again, these jobs are anywhere from maybe $85,000, $90,000 to somewhere around $150,000. Now, again, I suggest for my students and my mentees, right around 105 to 110. 105 to 110, okay? But I am going to not only be showing you, helping you to build your resume, helping you to build your portfolio, helping you to understand the interview questions, but I'm going to take you directly to the recruiters. I'm going to take you directly to the recruiters. We're going to find out where the jobs are, and we're going directly to the recruiters. With that said, I mean, I don't know any other mentor, Power BI mentor that is doing it quite like we're doing it over here in Power of the BI. Now, we've gone through many of the things that you're going to get, many of the reasons why, and many of the things that you're going to get when you participate in this event. But in addition to participating in this event, 4 to 16 weeks that you get access to my full 16-week course, you get to participate in the inner circle. For the 16 weeks, you get to participate in the inner circle. What is the inner circle? So here's the deal. I have students that have gone through my course, Power of the BI. They've gone through the course, Power of the BI, and they're in one or two places in the BI world. One is they're already on the job. Two is they're looking for a job, right? What the inner circle is, the inner circle gets full access to me, right? I meet with the inner circle once a week, right? They get full access. It is virtual, but they get full access and they get to ask all the questions that they like. Now, in addition to that, I've got guys within the inner circle that are on jobs and they're saying, hey, T, I'm stuck. I'm in a situation. It may be me or one of my friends within the Power BI world. You may get out there and get stuck. I'm trying to figure out a DAX formula or trying to figure out a calculated column, or someone may ask you a question that you really don't know the answer to readily and available. We get that. You contact us directly via text message. You contact us directly and we get that information to you, within minutes, as soon as we can help you. Sometimes it may take us, 3 or 4 or 5, 10 minutes. Sometimes it might take us 30 minutes to figure out the answer. But when we get the answer, we get it right over to you. We don't want you to get out there, get a job, and then you get stuck on the job and not necessarily able to survive because you're stuck. I mean, it's totally understandable. For us, it's totally understandable that you get on the job, you get a question, you get in a situation, you get stuck, and then you're like, yo, I'm about to lose my job because I don't know the answer to this, or I don't know how to solve this problem. No, if you're in the inner circle, you've got direct access to me and the team. We get that information over to you and boom, you're gone. Now, the goal is for us to get you to the point to where you need us less and less, right? And it seems to work, right? You need us less and less. But at the end of the day, I personally understand that when you get up, how it feels to be on a job and you like, I don't know where this answer is coming from. I don't know how to solve this problem. And you feeling good about what that paycheck is going to look like next week. But at the end of the day, that paycheck may stop next week if you don't know the answer or you can't get this answer quick enough. So that's what the inner circle does. The inner circle provides you that additional nudge and that additional assistance that helps you to where, we're not going to leave you out there on an island by yourself. In addition to participating in Power of the BI Live, what you also get is you get access to all of the 5-day challenges for the remainder of the year. All of the 5-day challenges for the remainder of this calendar year, you get access. So if you're not familiar with the 5-day challenge, what the 5-day challenge is that I teach a 5-day challenge for 5 days. I teach individuals Power BI. Now, I don't give them the 16-week course. I don't give them the Power of the BI Live, but we do build a project. We do talk about many of the things that we talk about in Power of the BI Live, we talk about in the 16-week course. But the goal of the 5-day challenge is simply to introduce individuals to Power BI. What is Power BI? What is Power BI? What Power BI does? Who Power BI is for? And to build a Power BI project. In addition to, you get to ask some additional questions that additional one-on-one questions that you really wouldn't have access to on a regular basis. That's what happens in the 5-day challenge. But you'll have access for 5 days as opposed to if you're in the 16-week course, you got access to me for 1 day and to one of my teammates for the other day. But in the 5-day challenge, you got access to me for 5 days because I teach the 5-day challenge. It is a live challenge. It's a virtual challenge. But again, I teach you what Power BI is, what Power BI does, who Power BI is for, all things Power BI. You build a Power BI report and you get to ask questions to me directly about Power BI. So you get all your questions answered. You get a lot of your questions answered. I don't want to say all because I don't know what the count is for all. Now, this is the last thing that I'm going to mention here. Not necessarily the last thing that would be available for the for Power of the BI Live, but probably one of the most oh wow, need some water. Probably one of the biggest assets to being in the inner circle, being in the 16-week course, which also is something that's major for you, that's participating in Power of the BI Live, is we have a mastermind. We do 2 masterminds a year. And you will have access to, actually, we do 4 masterminds a year. We do 1 mastermind a quarter. I was thinking that was 6 months, but it's actually 3 months. We do 4 masterminds a year. 4. They're in different locations. Some are national, some are international, right? We do 4 masterminds a year. Because you participate in the Power of the BI Live Dallas event, you will have access to participating in the mastermind. Now, the mastermind, again, it's a national, it could be national or it could be international. In addition to, there is some cost to the mastermind. Now, I don't want to go too deep into that because you may not even want to participate in the mastermind, but what I'm telling you is, if you think that you're getting a lot out of Power of the BI Live Dallas, the mastermind is going to blow your mind. The mastermind literally is going to blow your mind. I don't like using the word can't, but I'm not going to go too deep into the mastermind. But think about all the things we just talked about when it comes to the Power of the BI Live Dallas. And Power of the BI Live Dallas to The mastermind is the Power of the BI Live Dallas on crack. Well, let me be out. I don't want to say on crack. the mastermind is the Power of the BI Live Dallas on steroids, right? You do not want to miss the mastermind. Now, there are only certain individuals that have access to the mastermind. Those that are in the inner circle. Not those that are in the course, not those that are my students, not those that are my mentees, those that are in the inner circle, okay? In order to be in the inner circle, you have to have gone through the course, the full 16-week course. You have to have a job in Power BI, or you have to be looking for a job in Power BI. There's a criteria that it takes in order to be in the inner circle. As an alumnus of Power of the BI Live Dallas, you will have access to the masterminds for the remainder of the year. We'll let you know where the masterminds are. We'll let you know what the cost of the masterminds will be, and you will have access to the masterminds for the remainder of the year. Now, how do you get full access to the mastermind? I'll tell you, well, I just told you, you have to finish the course, and you have to, there's criteria once you finish the course in order to be in the inner circle. But the only ones that have access to the mastermind is the inner circle and those of you that complete or participate in Power of the BI Live Dallas. With that said, I just gave you a lot of information. What I do want you to do is scan the QR code, follow the link, and join our community of CTOs. Scan the QR code, follow the link, and join our community of the CTOs. If you're so inclined to do so, like, subscribe to my channel. I only want you to do that if you really feel good about what the information that we're providing here at Power of the BI. If you've seen other videos and it's really resonating within your soul to where it's really something that you want to do, I encourage you to like, subscribe to this channel. But if you scan the QR code, follow the link, and become a member of the community of CTOs, what that does is that puts you in the network that we send out for our weekly newsletter. Our weekly newsletter includes the BI Launchpad, which gives you weekly job updates. It gives you the webinar information that we have each week for our weekly webinar that's held on Thursdays from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. However, in order to participate in those webinars, you have to send me an email, register at powerofthebi.com, and register at powerofthebi.com, and I will get you on the list in order to participate in the weekly webinar. The weekly webinars, again, the links to those webinars, you must let me know that you're looking to participate. So you have to send me an email, register at Power of the BI. Now, here's the deal. If you're interested in joining the webinar, you don't necessarily have access to writing down email right now. If you want to join the webinar, if you're interested in learning Power BI and you want to join the weekly webinar, just come in webinar. Join the weekly webinar, come in webinar, and we'll get you into the loop that way as well. Again, if you want to participate in the weekly webinar, come in webinar, and we'll get you into the loop of the webinar. With that said, hey, I've just covered a lot of information when it comes to our Power of the BI Live Dallas that's coming up here May 1st and 2nd. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me at, you could probably reach out to me at the register@powerofthebi.com, and I'll get that information as well. I'll be honest, it's not coming straight to me, it's coming to one of the team, but they'll get that information over to me, and I will respond back to you if you got a question. I will personally respond back to you myself. But anyway, thank you for joining in. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.